Oh, it's such a perfect day. I'm glad I spent it with you. Greetings, Internet. Sorry I cannot give a video this title and then not get that song stuck in my head. In fact, if I had more social power on the Internet, I might even try and organise a VEDA'-based collab version of that song, much like the old BBC ad. But I'm not, so I won't. But anyway, that's not what this video is supposed to be about. I'm talking more simply about the act of, planning the perfect day. This is something that's particularly important to anyone who has a variable schedule which they are in complete control over. And to some degree it still applies to everybody, but when you've got like a specific job that requires doing at specific hours, you have some built-in structure to your day that you don't really have a lot of choice over. Whereas someone like me who works for themselves at home, I have 100% control over that. And so you start thinking about, well, what are the best ways for me to use my hours during the day? What will be the most efficient? What will be the most productive? If everything went completely smoothly, how would I spend my time? Work, food, exercise, entertainment. How many hours do I assign to each of these things? But then, of course, you start to realise that there are not enough hours in the day to fit all of the things you want to do in. So you have to expand it to the perfect week, which, of course, is still not enough, and you end up thinking even bigger. How do I organise an entire month? And at least that's how it happens to me, and it kind of spirals and spirals and keeps growing and keeps getting more complicated, when really you'd probably be better off just getting on with the work rather than spending so much cognitive power thinking about the best way to do that work. But I find it at least a really hard loop to get out of. And for me it starts to be detrimental in even worse ways. When you have this big overarching plan in your head, you start to feel like a failure when you don't meet that plan. But as they say, no plan survives contact with the enemy. So that happens every day. And at the point at which that happens, I tend to get that feeling that well, today's ruined, we may as well start again tomorrow. But then sometimes, for example, the failure will be get up on time, and then you've failed before you've even started the day. So do I have a point to this video? Not that I can think of. I guess that was more of a venting frustrations. It's something I'm working on. Are these feelings and loops that you suffer from? If so, how do you cope with them? And if you do, tell me about that in the comments down below. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again tomorrow.